In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my love of drawing inks. To me, this is the perfect illustration tool, mixing the different mark making techniques and the colors of inks that are available now. My preferred method is to work with both multiple ink colors on line drawings with my Quill pen. These are two of the newest drawing inks that I've added to my collection. I bought these maybe sometime this month. First one I want to show you is I bought Dr. Martin's Bombay Aqua, and it's kind of a bluish green. Swatched it out to show you. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that color. The second is I got myself another one of those iridescent calligraphy inks, and this time I got it in copper. It adds a little sparkle to any of my drawings. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to see if it'll sparkle. I generally add these to my illustrations. I like that little pop of color, that little bit of fantasy that it makes. So this is the drawing that we're going to be working on today, and I'm using these two inks as the primary colors. One thing I wanted to tell you about the calligraphy inks, when you get them, make sure that you stir. What I do is I take an old brush and I really give it a stir because the ink just tends to settle to the bottom of the jar. And once I've given it a good stir, I tighten the top on the best I can, and I really give it a good shake. That way you get all the sparkle and sizzle. I use dip pens because they give me fine detail, using the various line techniques. And my favorite dip pen is the Quill. With its fine nib, it just fits my style perfectly. I have found the most success by limiting the colors used in a drawing to maybe at the max amount between 5 and 6. I find that, like in this drawing, I have two primary colors, the aqua and the copper. And then I use the other three inks as more of a supporting cast. You could use black ink and then one other color like a touch of purple or one of those calligraphy inks, the copper or the gold. Or keeping the inks in one color range, say using like a sepia and then a dark brown walnut with just a touch of black ink. Working this way allows me to concentrate on working with the pen. You are adding color to the equation, but the focus is the flow of the line work, and the color becomes more icing on the cake. I've been using these metallic calligraphy inks for a while now, and I really like the way they add a unique quality to my work. I'm just going to be following the pattern of the fur. I'm not going to be doing anything but straight lines. Let me introduce myself. My name is Holly. Welcome to Autumn River Designs. Now I'm going to be adding black ink. This is the anchor color that ties everything together, and I'm using it sparingly, but with a defined purpose. I'm using it on the nose, and then to accentuate the tips of the ears. And we're doing the eyes also. I'm adding an acrylic ink here on the scruff. It's a light gray, so I'm using it very sparingly. I just want a little hint of shadow underneath the nose, and then here and there on the scruff. A little later on, I'm going to be adding it also on the underbelly, and there's a shadow in between the two legs. Now, acrylic ink tends to be more matte in finish, and it's something to think about when you're pairing it with something like a more translucent watercolor ink to make sure that it doesn't overpower it. Here I'm adding both black ink and gray ink to the tail, and I had a great time doing this. It was fun. I stylized the tail quite a bit. I'm adding one of those iridescent inks here to the moon behind the head of the fox. It's in the color of gold. This is the Aqua ink, and now we're going to be tying everything together. I'm going to be using it on the branches, which is going to go almost 3/4 of the way around the fox. And then I'll also add it to one of the stars, and it'll just kind of complete the whole design. I'm tying everything together now. I've got an aqua star here on the left-hand side, and then on the top right, I'm going to add 2 gold stars. And at the very end, I'm going to use a little touch of gouache to fill in some red berries. I hope this gives you some ideas of different things that you could do with colored inks. There are so many different inks out there and so many different ways you could use them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.